Hello and welcome to Landlocked Sea Fishing UK. In this video I'm going to show you a solution I came up with for storing gripper lead weights once the wires have been set. As you probably know, once you've set the wires on these, they can be a bit awkward to store. You know, they can get stuck in your fingers, you can get line wrapped around them, and when you've got a few of these in your tackle box, they can take up quite a bit of room as well. So I've come up with one solution anyway, so let me show you what I've done here. Okay, so let's take a closer look at these here. Okay, so how this works then is you get your grip lead weight and you relax the wires so that they're now like this. Grab your tube, put your tube in there, get yourself a pair of pliers, forceps or a pen. We've all got those sort of things in our tackle box. And then you just push that in there like this until you hear a click, like that. Now that's locked into there now. So you can stand it up just on its own like this or lie it down in your tackle box. But when you come to use it, what you do, just grab the end of the lead weight and just pull. And there you go, you can use it again. Just show you that quickly. So you push it into the end there, use something to push it inside until you hear a click, and there you go, there's your storage. Now the reason you have to use something to push that in there is because when you're pressing it in, if you was to try and use your finger, the wires will just squeeze your finger and just prevent you from pushing it in. Well, you do with these particular weights anyway, so it's good to use something that you've got in your tackle box already just to secure those in. So these pots that you see at the back here, I'll just take these out. Now, I wouldn't normally take that many leads with me, well, gripper leads anyway, to be honest with you. I'd probably just take about 4 with me. But if you like to take quite a few leads with you, or you know, gripper leads with you, then you might want to do this modular system here. So this is just a bit of gutter pipe or drainage pipe. You can buy it in white, black, brown, whatever. So it's the squared kind here. And what I've done, I've cut out an extra bit of a panel there and just glued a piece on the bottom. You can see it doesn't quite fit, but that's probably a good thing, so you've got a bit of drainage. So I've just super glued these onto the bottom like that. And if you want to, you can join these together so they're like a modular system. You can use little clips like this, that I believe these are off car door panels or something like that, and that join them together. Or you got bulldog clips like that, you could put those on and then just put the little handle parts, just clip them back down like that. You put one at the bottom as well if you wanted to, or if you haven't got those, you could even use book binding type strips and just cut a little piece off the end and make them like this, so you could use those type of things. Bit awkward to do here, but there you go. So something like that. You can make them modular, so you could have like several of these. If you take a lot of weights with you, then you know that might be an idea. What I've used to make these tubes then is these vitamin C tubes here. You can buy these from the pound shop. Yeah, so I've used these for all sorts of things. You may have seen one before when I did my tackle box tour. Showed you what's inside my tackle box. I got one of these painted white with a fluorescent strip around it as well, but I've yet to do a follow-up on that video, so I need to get into gear with that one. But yeah, so at the bottom here you can see this little recess, and it's that I've cut out there to form that lip, and it's that lip there that grabs onto the wires and prevents the lead from falling out like that. However, there is an issue with that. If I just show you quickly, so I'll just pull that one out. If you use a wider lead weight like these type here, these won't fit. They're too big. They won't fit into the end there. So what you can do is use the opposite end of the tube. So if I take that out there, you'll see that they will go in there now. But what you need to do is cut the lid out like this. So the only issue with that is it becomes wider at the bottom, and then you can't fit 4 of them into these. They're just that bit too big. But what you can do is, if I just pull this off here, what you can do is go around with a Stanley knife around these little slots here, cut out that little inner ring like that. So here's one I've done here, look. So you can just about see it there. In fact, I'll pull it out. So you're left with this little ring here, and then you can either just push it in or glue it in like that. And then these lead weights will go in this way then, like this. So it grips the wires like that. Okay. So the only issue with having these short like this is when they're in your tackle box. If you're not standing them up or whatever, they can just wobble free themselves. So I would suggest that you have these a little bit longer, perhaps like this one. So if I just take that ring out there and put that ring in there like that, and then push that lead in until it clips. There you go. So that would be a lot more secure using it like that, to be honest with you, if you're using wider lead weights. Now, I think these work brilliantly, and with the wider weights as well, because they're not going to grip your finger when you don't need anything to use to push them in. You can just use your finger to push them in like that until it clips into place. Okay, but you see this one, look, the rings move now, look. So what you need to do is glue that in really. Anyway, so that's that suggestion. Okay, going back to this again. So when you get to the venue, you can just stand them up like that, and then they're available to just pull out and use whatever lead weight you need to use at the time. And when you finish your session, you can just lie them back down again and close the lid up. Now, the thing with this is this will only work if you adjust these two compartments here, because the tops of these, just bring that in a little bit there, they're just a little bit too high here. So if you've got the original lids on like this, these protrude out a little bit from the box, from the lid, and it will hit on the top there, preventing you from closing the lid on the tackle box. But with mine, which you've probably seen in a previous video where I've modified this here to hold my clips and bits and bobs in there, I've modified the top part here as well. So I've put some elastic bands on there, which I can use for storing my tip lights. So because of that, they're just slightly recessed now, which gives me enough room to close the tackle box like that and clip it down. Yeah, so it's not ideal, but it is it is an option that you may want to consider to use yourself. As I said earlier, I wouldn't take this many gripper leads with me, to be honest with you. I do take other leads with me, just plain bombs and cannons and pyramids, all sorts really. But actual grippers, I probably only take a selection of about 4 with me. And yeah, so the other issue is if you've got these up against this edge here, it will catch on this part here, and the same goes at the front as well. With the lip at the top of the tackle box here, it will catch. So you need to keep these a little bit away at this edge and on this edge here. So what I've done here, just take that out there, I've put a bit of foam in there. I've just stuck a bit of foam in. So when I put these back in, they'll sit like this, and then when I want to lie them down, it just keeps them away from the edges here, allowing the lid to close down properly. So you see it closes down there. I've got something in the way there holding that up, but normally that'll just clip straight down there, without no issues at all. Just an idea. I think it's a nice, neat way of storing the leads. If you didn't want to put them in these little compartments, you could just put them in your box like that. Even that helps, just having them like that in your tackle box. There are a lot of options for storing these tubes. You don't have to use the gutter pipe in the way that I've shown here. What you can do, you can get a piece of gutter pipe and cut it from corner to corner, and then that'll give you like an L shape. And then you could have like a long rack with something like this, using these type of clips here, and then the lead weights could just press in like that. It's important to have a bit of a base at the bottom, obviously to hold the tubes in place so that they don't slip through. But yeah, there's so many options. You could use Jubilee clips or different type of clips, or even get a piece of board or plastic and drill some holes in. As long as it's got a base to it so that these can sit on, then you know it should be fine. So it doesn't matter what type of tackle box you got, there's always an option there. It's mainly, the purpose of this video is to show you the tube system to keep the gripper lead wires out the way. Just a few options there, and hopefully you like it. So last time I'll show you. Leg goes in the bottom there. Use your pliers or a pen, just pop them in till they click into place, and there you go. Gripper lead storage.